Hello, I'm Chris from TechSpert, and today let's get all touchy-feely with the fresh new OnePlus 11. This new 2023 flagship smartphone boasts all kinds of fancy pants tech, including an LTPO 3.0 AMOLED display. You got Qualcomm's uber beefy Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, a completely overhauled camera setup, all kinds of good stuff. And of course, OnePlus normally launches a Pro model alongside its regular flagship for those fans who have a few extra bills to stuff inside of its metaphorical G-string, but that's not the case this time. It's just the regular old OnePlus 11. Although to be fair, last year us Brits just got the Pro model, not the regular OnePlus 10, which was all kinds of confusing, but whatever. And here in the UK, the OnePlus 11 will cost you 729 quid or 799 if you want to double the RAM and the storage. So not much cheaper than the majority of Android flagships and over £100 more expensive than that Pixel 7. But is it worth it? Well, let's whip the OnePlus 11 out of that box, take you on a full-on tour of the hardware, the software, the game and the camera, all that good stuff. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So first up, what's in that box? Well, you get one OnePlus 11. You got your power adapter. It's an absolute heifer because it's 100 watt Super VOOC action. You got the usual lovely bright red USB cable, some safety guide shenanigans. You got some stickers in there so you can profess your love for that red cable. And we've got the usual welcome note shenanigans as well with that pokey SIM pin secreted around back. Let's see what Warman Pete has to say this time around. Hi there. Hi Pete. I love how politely he starts his letters. It's the usual stuff about how awesome the community is, though to be fair, by phone 11 I'd probably be running out of stuff to say as well. And that's your whack. It's good to see that you still get the power adapter and everything bundled with the OnePlus phones, although no condom case this time around, I've noticed. Right, let's crack on with the phone. So here we have it, the OnePlus 11, and this right here is the Titan Black model, a suitably dramatic name. Of course, this smartphone has already launched over in China, so no doubt you're familiar with the new black hole design. I've got to say, I think it looks rather lovely, very smart indeed. You can also grab the OnePlus 11 in a glossy green finish, but I actually prefer the matte black finish. That frosted surface is less slippery and it also gets less mucky as well, doesn't pick up the greasy, grimy muck from your fingers as easily. And when I first saw renders of the OnePlus 11, I was worried that that camera would poke quite far out of the back end, but thankfully that isn't really the case. That arse end is actually constructed from Gorilla Glass 5, and meanwhile around front you've got Gorilla Glass Victus. And that's generally good news if you're a bit of a butterfingers, you fumble your smartphone, it face plants a concrete floor because it is quite shatter resistant. But Victus is also prone to scratching, so I'm really glad that OnePlus has pre-installed a screen protector on the 11. And this time around, hallelujah, we do actually have an official IP rating for the OnePlus 11 as well. It's IP64, so it's dust resistant and also splash resistant. And the OnePlus PR was keen to point out to me that the OnePlus 11 can be dropped into a toilet and apparently should still function absolutely fine. Not sure why he felt the need to tell that to me, because that's not the kind of thing I would do. So let's have a jolly good look at that software. And of course, running on the OnePlus 11 is the latest freshest OxygenOS 13.0, which is based on Android 13. And the good news is OnePlus remains committed to those software updates too. So you got 4 years of OS updates. That's Android 14, 15, 16, and then 17 beyond that, and 5 years of security updates. And yes, OxygenOS 13 is heavily based on ColorOS 13, so there's a lot of similarities in here, a lot of the same features and tools. I won't bang on about the software side too much in this unboxing video because I did recently spaff out an entire video about OxygenOS 13. So definitely go have a gander of that if you're interested. But you've got the usual excellent customization. Bloody tons of always on display options to piddle about with, including the super depressing, oh my god, we're killing the planet and f***ing the animals one. Sexy bit of edge lighting for those notifications. Mess around with the fingerprint animations and everything as well. You've also got some much needed one-handed help. Definitely handy as this is a 6.7 inch beast. I also really like how you can drag all of those desktop icons down to the bottom like so. Particularly handy if your desktops are absolutely crammed full of the buggers. And with the OnePlus 11 you've got a choice of 128 or 256 gigs of storage. UFS 4.0, so nice and nippy. Fair chunk is taken up with system shenanigans, but thankfully there's not much in the way of crapware piled on here. You got a few of OnePlus's own bits, including of course good old Zen mode. It's pretty good if you want to throw up a metaphorical middle finger to the world and just get some peace at last. And you've also got that dedicated gaming app, which is pretty nifty. We'll be touching on that later. Sadly, as with most flagship phones these days, you cannot expand that storage using a micro SD memory card. There's only space in the SIM tray for 2 SIMs. For your security needs, the OnePlus 11 sports an in-display optical fingerprint sensor, and it seems about as reliable and dependable as ever. Had absolutely no issues with it so far. Works a charm even through that pre-installed screen protector, and you do also have a bit of face unlock support as well, so you can just tap that power button and, as you can see, basically straight into your desktops. Didn't seem to want to recognize me first thing this morning, but then I was not in a good state. So now let's have a shufty at that mighty 6.7-inch AMOLED display, which I gotta say, as usual, is an absolute corker. The big whoop with the OnePlus 11 display is that it's LTPO 3.0 tech, which is the next level when it comes to variable refresh. So basically, no matter what you're up to, be it enjoying a nice bit of Netflix or Disney Plus on your break, or maybe smashing your way through various Gribblies on Genshin Impact, the smartphone will adjust the refresh rate to match whatever you're up to, so everything looks silky smooth, but the battery isn't being unnecessarily drained. So for instance, if you're watching some bald tit on YouTube, there's no point in having that refresh rate boosted up to 120 Hz because you're not going to get any benefit from that. And likewise, if you're staring at a still image, again, of a bald tit for whatever reason, then you might as well have that refresh rate as low as possible to really preserve that battery life. And that refresh rate does top off at 120 Hz. You can scale it back to 60 Hz maximum if you want to, but no matter the setting, it will dynamically scale up and down to suit whatever you're up to. And so far, touch wood, everything seems creamy smooth, but of course, will it actually have an impact on the battery life? Well, that remains to be seen. Beyond the refresh rate, you've got all of the usual premium tech you would expect right here. It's a 3216 by 1442K resolution panel, so pictures are beautifully pin sharp. Got nice wide viewing angles on here. Maximum brightness tops off at well over 1000 nits, so certainly even on a sunshiny day, I would imagine it would be fine. I live in the UK, so I can't really test that out right now. The OnePlus 11 plays nicely with Dolby Vision as well as HDR10 Plus video as well, so certainly good streaming support right there. The contrast on supported content just looks absolutely stunning. Nice natural looking colors. You've got the usual tools buried away in the display settings as well, including the image sharpener and the video color enhancer, neither of which seem to do a massive amount, I've got to be honest. Oh, and while you can select between Full HD Plus and Quad HD Plus resolution, you can also have the smartphone itself auto-select the resolution based on, again, what you're up to. And there is some very subtle curvature of the display around the left and right edges of the OnePlus 11, but thankfully no issues so far with palm intrusion or anything like that. And thankfully the selfie cam is wedged away in a corner, and it's such a teeny wee speck, you barely even notice it when you do go full screen, when you're playing back some video, doing some gaming, whatever. And when it comes to the audio, well, that is spaffed out by a stereo speaker setup here on the OnePlus 11. But is it actually any good? Let's check it out.
Upgraded cooling tech and all kinds of fancy gaming bollocks to keep you right on top of your game. The Red Magic 8 Pro goes on sale globally from February, and you can expect the UK pricing to start at around £600 to £700 depending on tax and all that usual guff.
And it's pretty decent, not the absolute best stereo speaker setup I've heard on a flagship smartphone in recent times, but certainly powerful enough so it should be able to cut through any background noise if you are just enjoying a lovely little tech video. The clarity is pretty good as well, so overall decent stuff. If you jump on into the sound settings, you'll see you've got a good bit of Dolby Atmos action. You've also got Bluetooth 5.3 streaming support on the OnePlus 11, which you'll definitely have to use unless you are a bit of a fan of the old dongles. And when it comes to performance, the OnePlus 11 certainly on paper does not disappoint because it comes packing Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, which you should see stuffed inside of an awful lot of flagships in 2023. And that's backed on this bad boy by either 8 or 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM. My review model came with the 16 gigs. There's no denying the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is an absolute beefcake. Again, I've done a full video on it, so go check that out if you want to know the intricate details. I have been able to get a multi-core score of over 5,000 on Geekbench with it before. I can't quite manage it here on the OnePlus 11, unfortunately. But still very respectable scores indeed. And OnePlus reckons you'll be able to run up to 44 apps concurrently on this morpho, which you'd kind of think would do most people absolutely fine. I'm not sure if I've even got 44 apps in total. And I am hoping to fully review the OnePlus 11 once I've lived with it a bit longer, used it as my full-time smartphone, but so far certainly that performance seems impeccable. Gaming on the likes of Genshin Impact, even with maxed out settings at 60 FPS, absolutely no worries whatsoever for this phone. As with the handful of other Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 smartphones that I've tested a good bit of gaming out on, that frame rate stayed reliably smooth. The display is perfectly responsive too, and the good news is you can actually change up the screen sensitivity using the gaming tools, which is an excellent little addition. You've got various performance modes that you can play about with. You can record the screen action, you can do all kinds of stuff. Smartphone did start to heat up a little bit after around half an hour of action, but as I say, I'll be fully testing this bad boy out, so stay tuned for that OnePlus 11 review. And in that review, I should be able to give you the full lowdown on the OnePlus 11's battery life as well. But OnePlus has hoid an almighty 5,000 mAh capacity cell inside of this blower. So that should give you a full day of pretty intensive play. No worries, you'd hope, especially as you've got that LTPO 3.0 display. You've got that energy efficient Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. Certainly seems to be doing the job so far. It's only just dropped below 80%. It's almost midday. I've been using this phone for hours now, including a good bit of Genshin Impact, media streaming, all kinds of stuff. And when you need to power the bugger back up again, well, the OnePlus 11 supports 100-watt wired charging, not quite as nippy as the 150-watt charging support we had on the OnePlus 10T. But to be fair, you'll still get a full charge in about half an hour at the plug, even when the OnePlus 11 is fully drained, so it's not exactly terrible. What does kind of suck though is the lack of wireless charging support here on the OnePlus 11. A real shame, especially as some mid-rangers like the Nothing phone are now coming with that at about half the price of this blower. Now let's finish up this lovely little unboxing with a squint at the OnePlus 11's camera tech, which has actually changed up considerably compared with the previous generation. You once again have a 50 megapixel primary sensor with optical image stabilization, but now you've got Sony's IMX890 sensor stuffed in there, which has been used on lots of new Oppo phones and also the Realme GT Neo 5. OnePlus's recent partnership with Hasselblad is still in place, so you do still have the funky orange shutter button and lots of other Hasselblad bonuses, including those special master filters, which you can use to just jazz up your shots. As well as the 50 megapixel primary sensor, you've also got a dedicated portrait lens as well, 32 megapixel sensor on that with a 2x optical zoom, as you can see, getting much closer to Veronica here. You can fully mess around with the bokeh action as well. And the last lens, if we dive back into photo mode, is a 48 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter. This time it's the Sony IMX581. And as I say, the plan is to fully review the OnePlus 11, including an in-depth look at the camera tech. But for now, here's just a small smattering of samples that I've shot over the past few days with the OnePlus 11 to give you an idea of what it is capable of. For your video needs, the OnePlus 11 comes stacked as well. You can shoot at 4K or even 8K resolution if you like. Here's a bit of 8K video that again I recently shot in my brief time with the OnePlus 11 so far. As you can see, pretty impressive image stabilization even at that crazy ultra HD level. Plenty of other bonus camera modes to piddle about with, including a dedicated night mode, and if you jump into more, you've got that Hasselblad Pro mode. Have a proper good little play around with all of various settings to suit whatever you're trying to shoot, and then you can also shoot in RAW as well as RAW Plus. And then if we can tear our gaze away from the lovely Veronica for a moment and focus on my baldy bonts instead, you've got a 16 megapixel selfie snapper, which should hopefully prove up to snuff for your Instagrams and your social shenanigans. Here again are a couple of samples that I've shot with the OnePlus 11, and to be fair, this is as good as a selfie of me ever gets. And if you want to shoot some video with that front-facing selfie camera, it does top off at full HD resolution, no 4K option here. Sorry, I'll stop aiming it right up my nose. Audio pickup's absolutely fine though, I've had no issues Skyping or Zooming or anything. And there you have it, you lovely buggers. That in a tiny little nutshell is the OnePlus 11. As you can see, a pretty solid all-round flagship smartphone for 2023, albeit one that's missing a couple of key features like wireless charging, which you will find on some rivals. My SIM card is lodged firmly inside of the OnePlus 11 right now, so stay tuned for my in-depth review. Hopefully have that coming at you real soon. But in the meantime, what do you guys reckon? Are you tempted by this bad boy? 729 quid or 799 if you want that 16 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. It'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. And have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you.